डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी.
Namaskar. I, Dr. Darshana Dalwadi, is welcoming you all to the lecture series of Bachelor of Science Information Technology, System Analysis and Designing, Block 1, Unit 1, Overview of System Analysis and Design. Dear students, in previous lecture we have discussed some part of System Analysis and Design. In today's lecture, we are going to continue that remaining part and we will have at the end the conclusion of that portion. Now, in previous lecture, we have discussed what is the meaning of system analysis and designing, constraints of a system, properties of a system, elements of a system, types of system and system models. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about categories of information and summing up of that discussion portion. Now, before moving to the categories of information system, let us have some brief of whatever we have already discussed. In introduction portion, we have seen that system development can generally be thought of as having two major components. We can say in general when we are talking about any system and talking about the development of system, we may have two components, system analysis and system design. If we talk about system analysis, then we can say it is a process of collecting and interpreting facts, identifying the problems and decomposition of a system into its components. When we are talking about system analysis, it specifies what the system should do. At the other side, system designing is specifying that whatever we have identified, how we are going to implement it. Now let us see about system design. It is a process of planning a new business system or replacing an existing system by defining its components or modules to satisfy the specific requirements. System design focuses on how to accomplish the objective of the system. In analysis, it is decided what we want to do. Now in designing, we are focusing that how we are going to get that what. Getting? System analysis and design mainly focuses on three things: systems, processes and technology. Now what is the meaning of system? A system is an orderly grouping of interdependent components which are linked together according to a plan to achieve a specific goal. Whatever plan we have to achieve it, we are interconnecting the components and that is forming a system. Thereafter, system constraints we have discussed. Three basic constraints we are having. A system must have some structure and behavior which is designed to achieve a predefined objective. Second thing we have, that is interconnectivity and interdependence must exist among the system components. Third thing is the objectives of the organization. It is having a higher priority than the objectives of its subsystem. So three main constraints we must have in our system: structure and behavior, second thing interconnectivity and interdependence, and third thing objective of the organization. Then we were having discussion upon properties of a system. When we are talking about any system, we have different properties. First thing we have, that is organization. It implies structure and order. Organization means it is not the organization where we are going to implement it. It is the organization of our system. How it will have the organization means how the structure will be. Then we have interaction. It is defined by the manner in which the components operate with each other. Interactions as the name suggests, how the components are interacting with each other. That is defined with the help of interaction. Then interdependence. Interdependence means how the components of a system depend on one another. How the components are dependent on another. For proper functioning, the components are coordinated and linked together according to a specified plan. Next thing we have, that is integration. Integration is concerned with how system components are connected together. Integration means how the interconnection, or we can say how different subcomponents are there which are connected with each other. That is shown with the help of integration. And next property we have, that is central objective. The objective of system must be central. The users must know the main objective of a computer application early in the analysis for a successful design and conversation. In analysis part only, the main objective of the system must be clear. Then after we have elements of a system. Input, processor, output. With it we are having control. Feedback is also there. Boundaries and interfaces are also defined, and one environment is given to us for that system. Now let us see what is an output and input. Inputs are the information that is entered into the system for processing, and output is the outcome of your processing. Next we have, that is processors. It may be a processor or it may be more than one processor. The processor is the element of a system that involves the actual transformation of input into output. Then after we are having control. The control element is guiding the system. It is the decision making subsystem that controls the pattern of activities governing input, processing and output. Then after we have feedback. Feedback provides the control in a dynamic system. Positive feedback or negative feedback we can get. What do you mean by positive feedback? It is routine in nature that encourages the performance of the system, while negative feedback is informational in nature, that is providing the controller with information for action. Next one we have, that is environment. The environment is the super system within which an organization operates. It is the source of external elements that strike on the system. Boundaries and interfaces. Next element we have, that is boundaries and interfaces. A system should be defined by its boundaries. Boundaries are the limits that identify its components, processes and interrelationship when it interfaces with the another system. Then we have seen types of system, physical and abstract. Physical means the tangible entities, we can touch it and feel it. For example, desks and chairs, which are physical part of a computer center. Abstract system are non-physical entities, means we can say conceptual. It may be formula, representation of a model or graphical form. That thing can be abstract system. Then open or closed system. An open system must interact with its environment. It receives input from and delivers output to the outside of the world. It receives from outside world and it delivers to the outside world. For example, we can say an information system which must adapt to the changing environmental conditions. And closed system does not interact with its environment. It is isolated from environmental influences. Next one we have, that is adaptive and non-adaptive system. Adaptive system responds to the change in the environment in a way to improve their performance and to survive, like human beings or animals. And non-adaptive system means the system which does not respond to the environment. It is not giving the response to environment, like machines. Then permanent and temporary system. permanent system persist for long time. For example, we can say business policies. And temporary system are made for specified time, and after that they are demolished. Means if we are talking about a DJ party, then we are arranging the DJ system, and as the party gets over, we are assembling all that parts. That is called temporary system. Then after we have natural and manufactured system. Natural means which is made by nature. Examples are solar system, seasonal system. Manufactured by means the system which are made by man-made systems like rockets, dams, trains. Then deterministic and probabilistic system. Deterministic system operates in a predictable manner, and the interaction between system components is known with certainty. For example, two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen make water. Here, if we are combining these two, then we can determine that it will generate H2O, right? Then probabilistic system, it shows uncertain behavior. The exact output is not known. We don't know that how the output will be. Probability is there, but exact what will happen we don't know. We cannot predict, like weather forecasting or mail delivery system we have. Then social human machine system. In social system, we can say which is made up of people. For example, social clubs, societies. Human machine, in which we are having human as well as machine which are involved to perform a specific task. Like we are having computer programming. One person will be there who will do the programming, and the machine will be there, the computer system. So such type of systems are human machine system. Then after we have machine system. These are the system where human interface is neglected, means no one is there to interact with that machine directly. For example, we can say autonomous robots. Then after we are having man-made information system. As the name suggests, it is made by man managing data for particular organization under DMC, direct management control. These systems includes hardware, software, communication, data and application for producing information according to the need of an organization. Then after, when we are talking about this man-made information system, these are divided into three types: formal and informal. Formal means it is based on the flow of information in the form of memos, instructions from top level to lower level of management. And informal information means employee based system which solves the day-to-day work related problems. And third one we have, that is computer based system. This system is directly dependent on the computer for managing business applications. For example, automatic library system, railway reservation system, banking system, many more we can consider in computer based system, because right now most of the systems we are having of this type. Then we have system models. Schematic model, which is giving us the 2D type of view of our elements and linkages of their whatever system we have in it, the elements are linked how, that we can see in 2D chart with this schematic model. Then flow system model. A flow system model shows the orderly flow of the material, energy and information. How this is flowing in our system, that is shown with the help of flow system model. To show it, we are using PERT technique. Then we have static system. These are representing one pair of relationship between the another one. Like we can say one activity and another thing we have, that is time. So activity and time, how activity is done according to time, that is represented with the help of static system. Another one we have, that is cost and quantity. This is represented with the help of Gantt chart. Then after we are having dynamic system model. Business organizations are dynamic systems. It shows an ongoing, constantly changing status of the system. After that, we are having categories of information. When we are talking about the categories of information, in general, we can say there are three categories which are related to managerial level and the decision manager maker. In this figure, you can see that we are having volume of information, then type of information, information level, then management level and system support. In first triangle, you can see first part we are having strategic information, then management control information and operational information. Here you can see on each level which type of volume of information will be there, which type of information will be there, how much management level you are having, means which management level is included or interfering on which stage of information, and which type of system support you want. Suppose we are talking about strategic information, then volume of information will be low condensed. The information we will have, that is unstructured. Management level will be upper, means upper level management level will be involved here, and decision support system support will be decision support system, DSS. Second level we have, that is management control information. Volume of information will be medium, moderately processed. Type of information will be moderately structured. The management level involved will be middle management, and the system support we will have, that is MIS. At third level, operational level, we will have volume of information as large detailed reports. Type of information will be highly structured. Management involved will be lower level, and system support will be DPS, decision processing system. So these are the types we are having, or we can say categories we have of information. Now let us see what is given to us for strategic information. This information is required by topmost management for long range planning policies for next few years. In simple terms, we can say this strategic information will be for long term plan. As the name suggests, it is strategic, means it will be related to the strategies of long term planning. For example, trends in revenues, financial investments, and human resources and population growth. This type of information is achieved with the aid of decision support system, DSS. So strategic information will be of the use of higher level authorities. As we have seen here you can see the type of information will be unstructured. As we are moving down on the pyramid, on that triangle, we can see the unstructured information is getting highly structured at the lower level, where lower level management is involved. Moving forward, we are having middle level management. At that point of time, the type of information will be moderately structured, and at higher level we will have unstructured information where upper management level is involved. So this is what we are having in strategic information. Then after we have managerial information. Now this type of information is required by middle management for short and intermediate range planning, which is in terms of months. Now as the name suggests, which type of information will be covered here at managerial information? We can say which required the interaction of middle management for short term and intermediate planning. means they are not providing the long term planning, means for 2-3 years. We can say here that managerial information can be, suppose if we are considering the uh, management of information for 10 years, then for 10 years it will come in strategic planning, means that is long term, long duration of time is there. If we are considering 10 years planning and we are doing the planning for 1 year or 6 months, for 2 year, then it will be considering managerial information, means compared to 10 years it will be shorter time. So short term planning is there. And when we are talking about its examples, we can say sales analysis, cash flow projection, and annual financial statement. When we are talking about sales analysis, we cannot analyze the sales for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. We have to do the analysis of nearer time. Like right now I am doing the analysis for any particular thing or any particular object, how the sales was or how the sales is right now, then I have to consider the data which is relevant to that time duration. Means the product is there, I am considering it, what will be the sales for this product during next 6 months. So at that time I have to consider that sales analysis of that product for previous 1 year only. I cannot go beyond that, because if I am going to see about 10 years back for that product, then at before 10 years whatever type of production we were producing or whatever type of demands we were having, it is not so that same thing we may have within the last 6 months or within last 1 year. So it depends which type of management you are doing for information. Based on that you have to decide that which type of data you will consider. If long term, then go for the strategic information. If short term, then go for the managerial information. And to achieve this, we are using management information system, that is MIS. After that we are having, that is operational information. Now in operational information what we are having, this type of information is required by low management for daily and short term planning. See, here also we are considering short term planning, but this short term planning is of daily basis. At middle level we have also considered the short term planning, that is in months or in year. But on low level, on operational information level, we have to consider the planning for daily basis, means short term planning like day to day operational activities we are considering, then it will come under this operational information. For example, we can say keeping employee attendance records, overdue purchase orders, and current stocks available. Employee attendance records we have to keep every day. If we are not keeping it every day, then what will happen? At the end of 15 days or at the end of 30 days, we will not have proper data that how many employees were there at that were present at that time. So if such type of information we have to keep record of this thing, then it will come under this operational information. As well as current stocks available, whatever product you are having, how much current stock you have. Suppose you are keeping the stock of that product for 3 days back and you are going to sell it right now, then how you would compare that how much stock right now you are having and how much you can sell to other person. So if such type of information you have to maintain, then it should be on day to day basis. It is achieved with the aid of data processing systems, DPS. This is what we are having in categories of information. Now let us sum up whatever we have discussed. We have seen that a system is orderly grouping of interdependent components which are linked together according to a plan to achieve a specific objective. Its main characteristics are organization, interaction, interdependence, integration, and a central objective. To construct a system, system analyst must consider its elements. Now, what are its elements? Input and output, then processor, then control, feedback, boundaries, and environment. As well as we also have to consider interface. Systems are classified as physical or abstract, open or closed, and man-made information systems. A system may be schematic, static, or dynamic. As we have seen in schematic, what we are having? It is giving us the 2D view of our system. Static means it is giving us the static view, means how the structure is, and dynamic means constant changes we are able to see. An information system is an open system that allows inputs and facilitates interaction with the user. The main characteristics of an open system is input from outside, processing, output generation and operation in cycles through feedback, differentiation and equifinality. 3 levels of information in organization that require a special type of information system. Strategic information system for long range planning, policies and upper management. Managerial information system helps middle management and department heads in policy implementation and control. Operational information system helps the daily information needed to operate the business. Further, it emphasizes on the decision support system, not on information processing. It requires a computer aided environment and accentuates a combined man and machine and decision environments. So students, we have discussed here the overview of system analysis and designing. That portion is over. Next portion we will discuss in next lecture. Up to that, have a great time. Namaste.